Okay, so I've seen Frankenstein, the new film from Guillermo del Toro, and this is the retelling of the classic tale of Victor Frankenstein, the mad scientist who designed his creation, which is the monster. And just from the writing, the storytelling, to the tone for how they wanted to pull this off, and I have to say, I was really satisfied for what I'm about to say here, and I have a lot of thoughts that I want to say right here of my chest for how brilliantly crafted this film is. And so this will be my full non-spoiler review, go over my thoughts and my impressions from the overall vision for how they wanted to achieve this. And oh my gosh, there's so much I want to say right here, right now. And so if you're new, then be sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell so I'm not on any future bits. But now let's talk about this movie. And now when it comes to the story of Frankenstein, and it is one of the most gothic tales of all time and based on the book from Mary Shelley, and for how this wanted to be achieved for filmmaking, and I was impressed for what this wanted to accomplish. And if you know Guillermo del Toro and his work, and even to bring this to life, and this man knows what he's doing as a director when he has the lens and the vision for how this can be pulled off, and even coming from Netflix, and this is basically achieved on all cylinders. And this movie crushes everything that you want, from the production to the tone, and even with Victor Frankenstein as a character. And this is a man who has suffered through responsibility and loss, and now as like a scientist for what he wants to achieve, and he really wants to build this creature as a proof of worthy, and he really wants to build something great. And just from the aesthetic of telling the story, from its execution for how this wanted to be pulled off, and this is coming from now a scientist building his own creation, and how it is shot, and from the different camera angles, it really wants to capture that feeling. And I was so eye-opened to the type of storytelling and the direction this wanted to go. And this is the type of film that I think audiences will definitely be invested in, and trust me, I really was. And from the characters to what they had to be told through a certain light, and even though the classic tale that we've seen in plenty of other horror movies based on the universal monster, and Frankenstein is just an iconic character, this creature, this monster. And just from the feeling of having that light being centered upon this monster, how it is so brought to a fantastic new tale of this movie. And yeah, I was really impressed by it as well. And now I want to talk about the performances from Oscar Isaac, and this man delivers a great role in his career, and people will definitely be impressed for what this man can pull off in terms of acting. And I love for what his presence had to offer for the role of Victor Frankenstein. And yeah, this was a very stellar performance, and I think Del Toro really wanted to accomplish this so much in such a great light as well. And just with the way it really captures the story of how it feels, and even though I saw this on the big screen, and it really feels that way, and it really takes this film to really give the audience that sense of the feeling. For what I was really fascinated by was the production and the locations. It really wants to match the tone and from the mind of Guillermo del Toro, and the perspective of his lens for how he really wants to see through this movie from his perspective. It is really impressive. It is an outstanding achievement, and I definitely love its sound design as well. It really feels like filmmaking. This is one of the best films I've seen in a while, and even though this film was marketed to be huge, this movie was really an impressive retelling of the certain tale, and from its gothic feeling to really want to capture this a type of that by the end of the day, and I just generally fell in love with it, and I loved everything. Also, the score is a complete banger, and I think when this comes out, people will be definitely be impressed for what type of work it goes into making this movie. And I think from everything that goes into achieving it, and with the way it really matches every single part from each character throughout the story, and with the way it wanted to go. And this is the direction that I was really interested in, and for where it really wanted to take this story, and it really wanted to take it far and beyond. And you with Jacob Elordi, who plays the actual creature, and when I saw that reveal, I was like, oh man, that is really him in that prosthetic makeup. And I think people will definitely be in awe when they see this performance on screen. And I think it is definitely Oscar worthy, and I hope Guillermo del Toro gets nominated for an Oscar for this movie. And yeah, like just from the cast to the production design, and it definitely feels and captures the feeling of the movie from its script, and for how it really wants to be translated into this type of story and the film. And it's really one of those movies where we don't really get often, and I think Del Toro definitely crushed it. Bravo to him, and I hope he continues making more movies, and specifically with Netflix. And yeah, I think this is the film that everyone should see on Netflix when it comes out. And for me, seeing this film in the theater, and it was definitely designed to have a theatrical release. And for what I really believe of the impact this will have for what people can take away from this movie is the type of story, and that it's that theme of believing in your own creation, in that sense of mind. And it has beautiful visuals, and it really captures that like a type of the stellar tone it wants to go with, and it really built up to a really great conclusion and that great ending. And wow, and I think that this will definitely leave audiences satisfied once they have finished the movie, but I think people will definitely be impressed by it too. What I can also say, from start to finish, it really captures the feeling for what audiences are really wanting to be invested into. And just from the tale of Frankenstein, it is really unmatched. And yeah, I mean, when the credits rolled, and I have a feeling like, oh man, this was a very good movie, which I was impressed by once the movie ended, and I really wanted to see more of this tale. And just for how Oscar Isaac and Jacob Elordi work together on screen, also along with Mia Goth, that she really also gives a great performance. And even though I've seen her in tons of horror movies, and even from her work in the X trilogy, and now to be in a horror movie from Guillermo del Toro, oh man, give this lady more roles. I mean, I was impressed with everything that happened. And even though I was worried that they would mess this up because, it's a Netflix film, but hey, this is the film that I would definitely rewatch again. And yeah, and I hope everyone enjoys this film when it releases on Netflix worldwide as well. So that's my final thoughts, and I just hope that everyone else enjoys the film as much as I did. And I think Frankenstein is a very awesome achievement from Guillermo del Toro, and I hope everyone else likes it as well. But that's going to do it for this video. Just let me know in the comments down below, and if you've seen Frankenstein at the time of this review, or if you're planning to see it in theaters, or plan to watch it on Netflix when it releases worldwide. But just let me know what you thought of the film in the comments down below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to notifications about future videos. And also follow all my social medias all linked down below. And with that, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.